Hey folks, so there's a bit of advice that I usually reserve for my paying clients, and I usually reserve it for them because firstly, I don't like to give a lot of advice, and secondly, it's kind of attached to an uncomfortable truth. And that uncomfortable truth is that no matter how smart you are, how intelligent you are, how much you know, how much experience you have, how much you think from first principles, or how good you are at explaining or constructing the best argument in any given interaction, you cannot connect the dots in somebody else's brain. You cannot know the right thing to say in order to move them into clarity, and you cannot know exactly the right thing to say to know that they've understood and they're going to take the best next step for them. You just can't do it. In fact, when we're using knowledge, when we're teaching and preaching and trying to use the best argument for any given situation, trying to get somebody to understand something that we understand, what we tend to do, what happens 99% of the time, is they become more stuck, they become more dependent, they become more overwhelmed, more disconnected, and they understand less. They have less clarity, they feel less valuable, they feel less valued, they feel less competent, they feel less smart, and slowly become less autonomous. And this happens in every interaction. If you imagine everyone that comes to you seeks knowledge and seeks information from you, they are going to feel like they don't know anything, right? They're going to feel less and less competent. And what creates forward motion is connecting the dots in our own brain. What creates clarity is connecting the dots in our own brain. What creates certainty is connecting the dots in our own brain or in their brain, right? And so the bit of advice is to start using curiosity in your interactions. Try and use it to the extent that you have said nothing, taught nothing, told them nothing about your experience. You've just asked questions until both of you have reached more clarity on the situation without anyone having to preach or teach anyone. And those clients that I have that have adopted this have had huge transformations. They've talked about massive improvements in their relationships. They've talked about how their partners are urging them to continue working with me, which is a good thing for me. They've gained 20, 30 hours that they can move away from where it was, dealing with people, to where they want it to be, dealing with product or building their team or planning for the future. And the only shift they make was to move from preaching, teaching, telling, explaining towards curiosity, extracting more information until the other person gains clarity and sees how valuable they are and connects the dots in their own brain and become more autonomous. That's it for today. Are you a preacher, teacher, explainer, or are you using curiosity to help others guide themselves to clarity? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.